I've always been a light sleeper. Every little sound jerks me awake, which made apartment living tough. But last year, I moved into a quiet building, and for a while everything was great. The neighbors were all friendly, but kept to themselves. And for the first time, I was sleeping peacefully. Then about a month ago, I started hearing strange noises. It was around 2 a.m. when I first heard it, a soft scratching sound coming from the wall next to my bed. I tried to ignore it, but each night, it grew louder, like someone was raking their nails down the wall, slow and deliberate. I tried knocking back, hoping it was just someone playing around, but the noise would stop for a minute and then resume, more urgent, almost desperate. One night, I finally worked up the courage to go next door. My neighbor's name was Mr. Jensen, a quiet, older man who rarely left his apartment. I knocked, and after a long pause, he answered, looking pale and tired. I mentioned the noises, but he just shook his head and said, "I haven't heard anything, but sometimes they want to be heard." It sent a chill through me. I tried to brush it off, but the noises got worse. Now it wasn't just scratching. I could hear whispering, like someone muttering just on the other side of the wall. I put my ear to it, straining to make out the words, but they were too muffled. The only clear thing I caught was my own name. That night, I barely slept. Every sound seemed to vibrate through the thin walls, crawling under my skin. In the morning, I went to the building manager, desperate to find out if something was behind that wall. He looked at me with this weird expression and said, "There's no one on the other side. That apartment's been empty for years." I felt dizzy, like I was going to be sick. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't just pack up and go. So I decided to stay one last night, just to see if the noises would happen again. I sat up in bed, waiting, and around 2 a.m., the scratching started. But this time, it was right next to me. And when I turned to look, there was a dark stain on the wall, spreading and pulsing like it was alive. Then, in the dim light, a face started to press against the wall, stretching it like a thin membrane. It stared at me wide-eyed, mouth moving as if screaming, though no sound came out. I bolted out of bed, not looking back. I left that apartment the next morning, breaking my lease and never looking back. Sometimes, though, late at night, I wake up to the faint sound of scratching, and I wonder if it's found me again.